Welcome to the Mediabox. I'm joined by two editors of the COUNTERFAKE study that's just been presented to Congress. First of all, Professor Robert Müller-Török, tell us a little bit more about your findings about fake news and hate speech.
The big difference between fake news and hate speech with respect to the study is that hate speech is quite well defined by the Council of Europe and the Congress, whilst the term fake news is a little bit more ambiguous. Hence, we started a questionnaire among the delegates of the Congress. We received a little less than 200 replies, which was sufficient for an empirical analysis, with some restrictions, but anyhow. And the term fake news is also quite ambiguous to them. Some of them, nearly a majority, considered statements which cannot be verified when delivered are fake news. And that was a little surprising, simply because if I tell, okay, I assume that tomorrow at the next weekend Bayern München will win their match, it's fake news according to that definition. So that was one interesting finding. The second interesting finding was a proportion bigger than we assumed was already personally affected by hate speech. We would have expected it a little less, but it was in an interesting two-digit range. And third, most of the delegates who returned the questionnaire agreed that a possible good remedy for fighting hate speech and fake news is simply more openness, more transparency, more open government, more making decisions of the political bodies more reproducible to the citizenry.
Alexander Prof, tell us more about the methodology used in this study.
Well, apart from describing the sociological, political, legal, and also technical background, we wanted to do some stock taking. And we prepared an online questionnaire among the delegates of the Congress. We had 187 respondents, which is quite sufficient. Of course, not sufficient for an elaborate and complex statistical analysis, but for descriptives. And the findings we had were, just to summarize, a large number of delegates had already experienced fake news and or hate speech. They typically go together. Threats voiced in the digital media easily spill over to the physical world. And also in terms of remedies, as was already mentioned, most delegates actually wanted more training. They advocated more openness in political communications, in political decision-making. And some of them actually suggested technological remedies that were not quite feasible. So I think some kind of technological awareness raising would probably be to the point here.
Alexander Prof, thank you very much for joining us, and our thanks too to Professor Robert Müller-Török.
Thank you.